don't care about accolades, so they mean nothing to me. But you can't tell me he's the GOAT because of 6-0, but then tell me he was the GOAT with 3. Because then clearly you're glazing the guy. You just got in your mouth and you want to just suck it. That is glaze. That's just ridiculous. You can't tell me 6-0 and then tell me he's the GOAT with 3.
What was the convo about Jordan right after the 1993 finals? Was he considered the GOAT or just top 5?
He was the best.
He was a GOAT.
Because he was the best, and it wasn't a question because they had done something that nobody else had done. They had won the NBA championship 3 straight years.
Didn't they build that statue too? They built that statue at.
That's when he retired. Well. That's because he retired.
Oh yeah, true.
Had he not retired, that's because he retired. He was going to get that anyway. That was going to happen anyway. But it was official that he was the best ever at that point.
Hold on, Chill. What year did they build the statue?
The year he retired, they unveiled it the 93-94 season. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know they built it that early. So he came out of retirement like, yo.
And it's a statue outside the arena.
This is my arena. I'm sure it was one of those unspoken rules. I mean, I'm sure everybody knew it was MJ's arena, but like you playing with a statue outside, that's kind of a little different.
Yeah,
people been glazing for decades. That's what people been glazing.
No, it's a respect. It's respect.
It's glaze. It's glaze.
It's not glazing. It's not glazing, bro.
The thing that I wish in terms of you, Mars, in terms of basketball, I wish you would have been around to see this guy. You have no idea.
He'd have been a Skip Bayless.
That doesn't change that it's glazed. Whether or not it's valid or not doesn't change the fact that they're glazing. Like
a hater. That man put that.
How's that hate? The guy played 9 years and got statue. That's glaze.
No, it's not glazing. He gave us 3 championships in a row. Our first 3 championships.
Congratulations. They still glazed
in those 9. So hold on. Let me make sure I'm understanding. What exactly does glazing mean? So I'm clear. I'm the oldest up here, so I'm a little out of touch with certain things. What exactly, Mars, does glazing mean? So I'm clear.
That's just the way to hate.
Some would say Jalen glazes LeBron.
Okay, that's an example. Okay, that's an example. What exactly does it mean?
However you feel
running from the
Jalen acts towards LeBron, that's what glazing means. I don't know what you want to say. That's what glazing means.
So somebody up here would have described glazing as...
I got you, OG, saying somebody glazing is pretty much a way you can easily hate on something because you don't have facts to prove why they're getting appreciated. So, like what he just doing, he just said they glazed Jordan, but he can't prove nothing. So that's the easy way to say.
When people say cap and they just say it just to say it.
He tried to call the Bulls saying they D-riding Jordan. But
I'm saying society was glazing Jordan.
No, he put in a lot of work. He put in 1,000.
You didn't.
What do you believe warrants a statue?
You say the Bulls glazing Jordan.
I mean,
what do you believe warrants a statue?
I don't know. I just think calling someone the GOAT after 9 seasons, but then telling me someone else can't be the GOAT, and they played 20 years and they have 4 championships, but someone else who had 3 can be over Kareem, over Bill Russell, over Magic Johnson, over Larry Bird, and all he did was play 9 seasons, and somehow that's not glazed. But if someone were to say a certain someone playing right now was the GOAT after 2016, it's all of a sudden glazed. To me, I'm just saying it's glazed all round. You got people who glaze a certain someone playing today, and then you got people who are glazing Michael Jordan in '93, calling him the greatest player ever. To me, that's glaze.
OG, you don't play basketball before, right? This is what coach would do. You literally asked Mars to run a play, and he just did whatever the hell he want to do. You asked him what warrants a statue. He talking about I don't want nobody to be called the GOAT. You didn't ask him that. I told you to run.
The first word I said. The first words I said was I don't know.
What do you do to get so you're wrong then? So
the first words I said was I don't know what warrants a statue. I don't. The statue doesn't bother me.
But that was the point of the question.
After 9 years, that's what I said was glazed. Multiple things were said. The statue.
So the statue was earned.
So the statue was earned then, right?
Sure. If that's your
all right then. So why you?
If that's your first 3 championships. Sure, give him a statue. I don't care. Calling someone the GOAT after 9 seasons,
crazy.
Glaze.
That might be Glaze.
Especially when I hear
acting like he had done things though.
When I'm told 30 years later,
I'm just trying to understand what Glaze.
When I'm told 30 years later that one of the reasons why he's the GOAT is because he's 6-0 with 6 finals MVPs, But now you're telling me you were calling him the GOAT with 3 finals MVPs.
Mhm.
You're glazing. Like, I don't know what to do. Because that means with
Hold
half of
on,
them,
Mars
you're
is
still calling him
That
the
is
GOAT.
factual.
That's glaze. Whether it's
questions for
right
you,
or wrong,
Mars.
because I don't care about accolades, so they mean nothing to me. But you can't tell me he's the GOAT because of 6-0, but then tell me he was the GOAT with 3. Because then clearly you're glazing the guy, you just got his dick in your mouth and you want to just suck it. That's glaze. That's blatant glaze. That is glaze. That's just ridiculous. You can't tell me 6-0 and then tell me he's the GOAT with 3. He also won MVPs after that, but clearly it doesn't matter because he was the GOAT in 93. You're just glazing the man. And most of them weren't even alive in 93. They only saw the second 3P and they're still calling him the GOAT. They're glazing him. And that's fine. Go ahead and glaze, but acting like you're not glazing him is cap. Because
Talk that talk.
Kareem was clearly the GOAT if you cared about 6 rings at that point. Bill Russell was clearly the GOAT if you cared about rings. He didn't have 5 MVPs yet. He didn't have 6 finals
not a GOAT
MVPs yet.
conversation.
He didn't have 6 rings yet. He didn't have any of that. But you're telling me he was the GOAT after 9 seasons. He didn't even have 10 scoring titles yet. He had nothing that you're using to say he's the GOAT now, but you were calling him the GOAT then. But then you're gonna that's glaze.
Facts.
I was just trying to understand what I was trying to understand what you were saying. But with that being said, Mars, we got to remember who we're talking about here. We're talking about a guy who, at that time, the NBA had never seen anything like this. Not only had the NBA never seen anything like this, it was transition. It was still a big man's game, but Jay was becoming something completely different than what the big man was when dominating in the league, right? A guy that's not 6'9", a guy that's not 6'10", that plays on the box, that's averaging 30 a game or averaging 25 a game, that's averaging 30 a game, playing above the rim and completely changing the game. And every year now he becomes the model of what the game is. Every year this dude was getting better and he was the NBA at that point. And because he was the NBA at that point, add that on to them winning and him climbing the mountain. It wasn't like he just showed up like Magic did and Magic was in a pretty good situation, who still had to perform. He definitely had to perform, but it wasn't like he showed up. He had to start from the bottom and climbed up, which in a city like Chicago, which is a blue-collar city, he had to climb the mountain and help get them to where that they got. And him doing it in the fashion that he did it, the NBA hadn't seen anything like that. And it was official at that point. It wasn't just about championships at that point. It was about a guy who was changing the game. It was about a guy who had done something that nobody else had done. And not only had done what nobody else had done, we probably aren't going to see that again in our lifetime.
So it became about championships when someone who could actually challenge him came along, and now
that's 100%. That's what it is.
It don't matter.
Glaze. That's called moving the goalpost to keep your guy in first.
But hold on, wait, Mars. You can't say the organization that he worked for. Now, if you want to talk about the fan base,
I said society glazed him.
Society. No, you said giving him a statue was glazing him too. The organization gave him a statue.
No, what I said was no, because many things were said. The question was, what was the conversation about MJ in 93 after he retired? Was he the GOAT or was he top 5? Then Chill said he was considered the greatest. I said that's glaze. Then we started talking about the statue he got, and then Mustard didn't know when the statue came, neither did Ron. And then it was like, oh, that was after he retired the first time.
Yeah.
And then my point about it being glaze was the fact that he was the GOAT after 9 years in the NBA. Not to mention the first years. You can find the articles. Chill will probably attest to this.
It is glaze.
What they were saying was Michael Jordan is just putting up numbers. You can't win this way. Selfish, all of that. And that was in like 87. They were still saying those things. So he went from someone you can't win with to the GOAT in 6 years.
90.
That's glaze. Like,
I mean, he was still having.
He made him the GOAT that quick.
I just think it was stuff that people
did. With everything Magic was doing. Magic went to the finals 9 times in 11 years. Like, there's no way you're telling me that MJ just surpassed all of that with 3 championships, but then you're going to tell me now that one of the reasons MJ is the GOAT is because of 5 MVPs, 10
But Mars, I think it's not bad. It was just stuff in the moment. Whenever you're seeing things like that in the moment, people are going to react that way. Same thing happened with LeBron. When LeBron won in 2016, people were saying he's the greatest.
And you know what
saw
they were
something.
They
you
were
saw him
glazing.
do something historic. There they were. I ain't gonna lie. It was.
It wasn't glazed.
That's my point. There's people glazing LeBron. There's people glazing MJ back then too. But the Jordan glazers live in denial about that glaze.
So when Curry,
it happens all the time. It happened with Kobe.
When Steph Curry was being put in the MJ conversations in 2016, that was glaze.
Yeah, it was. That was Curry is different. I ain't gonna lie.
Curry was
like
never
every player has these glazers, but for some reason the Jordan fans seem to deny their participation in this.
Because he probably is the GOAT. That's why. That's
You're glazing right now. Look at
probably
you.
is.
I told someone to go.
How am I glazing?
But what they were doing is 1000% glaze.
Is that not the truth?
Go watch a
Michael
Michael Jordan game. Go watch any Jordan game from the 80s and listen to how the commentators glaze him. Oh my God, it's ridiculous.
It's the player choice way. Yeah, them boys don't get it started. The player choice way. You're the player choice way. Come and switch lanes into the player choice way.